On the road to WrestleMania 38, Edge issued an open challenge to a match that AJ Styles answered. This was a dream match for many. WWE added a wrinkle to the story by having the rated R superstar hit Styles with a low blow and a concerto. It was a swerve that fans hadn't seen coming, with Edge turning heel for the first time since 2010. Fans resisted booing Edge, but he threw himself into the gimmick with an entirely new presentation that did intrigue audiences. His run as the Judgment Day faction's leader would be short-lived, as he would be ousted by Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and the newest member of the group, Finn Balor. The reason for that remains unclear. Some reports suggest that Edge and WWE Creative weren't on the same page, while others suggest that WWE needed a major babyface after Cody Rhodes tore his pec and would miss months of Raw. Regardless of this change and all the subsequent twists and turns in the Judgment Day storyline, the faction has accomplished exactly what Edge wanted it to in the first place. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club, and in today's video we'll be asking the question if Judgment Day has been a success by considering what the original plan was for the group. Welcome to the club. As is the case with many factions in professional wrestling, Judgment Day was built to help build up new stars and get them over with the fans. That was exactly what Edge wanted to achieve, telling WWE after the bell, "I've been watching them all since NXT and kept tabs on them and kept my eye on them all these years, so when I was asked about starting a group and asked who I would want in it, the first names I said were Priest, Ripley and Balor." This was an interesting situation, as Balor had already been cemented as a mid-card guy, and his subsequent booking had done nothing to change this, but at the time both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were struggling to stand out. Priest had a bland character and fans had no reason to invest in him. Ripley was full of potential but failed to take the next big step to true superstar status, instead just kind of floating from one aimless tag team to another. So while Edge probably saw something in Balor, Judgment Day was only ever meant to be a star-making vehicle for Mami and the Punisher. But that road would become significantly more complicated in the months to follow. From the moment Edge turned heel, it became obvious that fans would have to adjust to the idea of booing him. But that didn't last long, because the addition of Finn Balor coincided with his removal from the faction, courtesy of a concerto. Without Edge, Judgment Day no longer had the major name they needed to anchor the faction. At this point, WWE Creative made the smart decision to highlight one member of the group at a time. While Balor tried and mostly failed to deal with Edge on his own, he teamed up with Priest in tag team action. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley became the dominant force within the group and was instrumental in turning Dominic Mysterio heel and helping him to develop his persona. It was an interesting balancing act, where Balor was failing, Ripley was thriving, and Priest was still relatively directionless. As Mami won championship gold, Edge finally put Balor away at WrestleMania 39. Mysterio got the chance to refine his character, while Priest was pushed into the spotlight. A high-profile feud and a fantastic match with Bad Bunny led to him winning the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2023. JD Madonna would join the group, and then there were signs of impending trouble between Balor and Priest, which thrust the group forward. Priest successfully cashed in at WrestleMania 40 to become the World Heavyweight Champion and begin his ascent to main event status. His run with the briefcase had been underwhelming to say the least, but this reign felt like it was his only chance of making it big. The tension between Balor and Priest was central to much of the latter's World Heavyweight Championship reign. Priest had previously cost Balor his shot at revenge against Seth Rollins for the title at SummerSlam, and the Prince began to play the long game. Their exchanges allowed Priest to evolve as a character, adding the best elements of his previous status as the Archer of Infamy, making him a cool character for fans to begin supporting. This was essential, as Ripley's budding feud with Liv Morgan had to be put on hold due to a legitimate injury that also resulted in Mami having to vacate the championship. Priest thrived under the pressure, and when Ripley eventually returned, fans were more than ready to cheer for them. That was what they were given the chance to do at SummerSlam 2024, also known as the day the Judgment Day died. In the first match of the night, Dirty Dominic Mysterio turned on Ripley and helped Liv Morgan retain the Women's World Championship. It was a shocking conclusion that managed to turn Mysterio even more heel. In the penultimate match of the night, Priest worked an incredible bout against Gunther, with his World Heavyweight Championship on the line. This was when the Prince struck, and Priest got distracted, which cost him his title. The new-look Judgment Day added Morgan to its ranks, along with Carlito, who had joined a few months earlier. Meanwhile, fans went berserk for Priest and Ripley, as they fended off their former stablemates, being known as the Terror Twins. Although Priest and Ripley were very fond of each other, they have since gone their separate ways. Mami is still on top after finally beating Morgan for the Women's Championship when Raw debuted on Netflix. Priest finally put Balor away for good on the same night, and his status as a main event star is unquestionable. A lot has changed for Edge since Judgment Day first formed at WrestleMania 38, and he's even left the company now, but the faction accomplished exactly what he intended it to, which was to get Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley over as main event stars of a new generation. And there you have it. So what do you think? Do you think Judgment Day has been a success? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you're new around here. That's all for now, so to thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Welcome to the club.